I'd always had a fascination and love for nature. I think a lot of that came from a lot of early years fishing with my dad. But life being life, I ended up going to university studying economics, and then having left that, I went and got a job in finance. And I worked in the city, in Edinburgh, in London, in India. I'm not enjoying 1 second of it. And I very quickly realized, having started that job, that this wasn't the life that I wanted. I started a production company with my brother, and that was always the angle. There was always a backbone of conservation around any of the storytelling or filmmaking that we were doing. In some years, I'm definitely away more than half of the year. Sometimes I say 2/3 of the year I'm on the road filming. A lot of that time's in Africa. I was thinking about it this year. Spring had just come, the birds were singing, everything was turning green, and it came time for me to leave, to go to Africa, to go and do some amazing projects, and I didn't want to leave. But then I get on the plane and I go back to the continent there, and we're catching elephants, putting them in trucks, and then driving them 700 k's over the Namibian border into Angola. And after you've done that for a few weeks, I don't want to come home. I'll always have a base here, a house here. I don't mind spending a lot of time away, but I want to be able to come back to home, and home is here. I think the biggest challenge in what I am most passionate about, which is gritty, authentic, honest documentary storytelling, is that the world doesn't always want to see it. The way that we have been presented the world by the media and by some of the big networks where documentaries would live is a distorted view of reality. And I've come to realize through making some documentaries that it's quite difficult to get the world to watch that stuff. But we're living in this time of a very kind of distorted reality where people don't want to accept some of the hard truths of how the world actually functions. I probably have neglected telling stories at home in the last few years, to be fair. It is very easy to forget what is like right on your doorstep. I have a little river at the bottom of the garden. I go take a walk along a river where the salmon are running and jumping at this time of year. I'm taking my old Land Rover into the forest to cut wood and stack it up for winter with the fire going. And it's all very idyllic and almost like a storybook, but it's quite hard to see that when you live it every day. I think we all hope that we can tell a story that does make a difference on a bigger platform, but I don't know whether I've quite got there yet. That's the ambition. But the storytelling that I want to do, wherever I might be, is to uplift the unsung heroes who are really making the planet a better place. Where am I going to be in 20 years' time? I'd like to think that I'm doing exactly what I'm doing now. The idea of retiring eventually and not doing this, it doesn't even come into my mind. I love what I do so much, I can't imagine not having this as part of my day. I hope my life doesn't change. I like it just as it is right now, which is a really privileged position to be in. It's a nice thing to strive for and to live every day like that.